I see incredible contact service. I think I did the best I could have done in the amount of time I probably spend that time studying for credits or something else. For hard science, I she memorized. She has a little sheet where she falls on that. So if you said to her, okay, if you gave her a word and said,
Where is he? Did you see him? Where did he go?
That way. That way. He's over there.
Where?
There, by that bench.
Over here?
No, the other side.
Oh,
right underneath.
Oh, damn. Shot too.
What, Andre?
He ran right past me. He ran right past me. He got away. He got away, I'm too old for this. That's the way I can do it. Text him all the time.
You did? Alone?
Of course alone. That's the only way you can catch a rabbit. Otherwise, there's no challenge. If there had been snow, I would have seen his prints and I would have caught him.
Are you all right?
Oh, it's nothing. Only a mouse. I'm sorry. Did this surprise you?
A little.
I used to catch them all the time.
You did?
When I was a boy.
Why?
It was fun. I used to chase them. It became a reflex. Whenever I was out walking, I would see a rabbit and whoosh into the woods. Today, when we came here and I saw that rabbit on the bench just sitting there, I couldn't help myself. You understand?
Certainly.
I used to catch them all the time when I was young. Finally, I stopped.
Why?
The war came. We couldn't leave Leningrad, so I caught rats instead for food. But that's the war, and you don't like me to mention the war, so I'm sorry, and I shut up. Yes? It's so pretty out here this time of year. Away from that little room, months and months in that little room negotiating, eh?
Don't complain. You've had the last 2 weeks in Moscow.
You think they don't have little rooms in Moscow? No, this is best, to be out of doors. It helps concentration, I think, to get away, to sit here quietly in the world.
How was Moscow?
Huh?
Moscow, how was it? You had some fairly important meetings there. I thought you brought me out here to fill me in.
What? Oh, yes, I did.
So?
Huh?
Fill me in.
You want to start right now?
Why not?
Yeah. It's just that it's so good to be back here, guys. Among the trees.
Is anything wrong?
No.
You seem a little distracted.
I am not. I'm totally concentrated.
It's just that you seem...
How I seem is unimportant. How I am is important.
How are you?
I should have caught that rabbit.
Andre.
When was the last time we were here?
A month ago.
A month ago. What did we talk about?
Modifying negotiation procedures, Soviet-American relations, and Babe Ruth.
The babe, the Sultan of Swat.
Andre.
Magnificent athlete, larger than life.
Would you mind if we didn't start with the frivolous side of things today?
You don't want to?
No.
Why not?
Because you have news for me. You've been to Moscow. You're back now. You have news. I want to hear it.
What if it's not good news?
I want to hear it. Your government rejected our proposal, didn't they?
Not exactly.
What do you mean?
They didn't reject the proposal itself. They rejected what your president turned the proposal into.
Which is?
Which is, in their words, a cynical public relations scheme.
It is not a cynical...
It is, from the moment he announced it to the world.
He had to announce it.
Why? We had not agreed to it yet.
You never agreed to anything. You accepted one small point before our election. And since then, nothing. Zero. No movement all winter. He couldn't wait any longer.
You should have stopped him.
I tried. I argued him out of going public on this 3 times in the last 5 months. You know that.
You should have argued again.
I did. But I was running out of ammunition.
So, in one speech, he destroys all the work we have done. Good. Fine. Why not?
You're the ones who destroyed it by delay.
Delay does not destroy agreements. You can always renew efforts, but to announce the proposal...
He had the right.
He bears a responsibility.
For what? For telling the world? Why is that so terrible?
Don't be ridiculous.
No, tell me. Why is it so bad if the rest of the world knows what we're discussing?
Because it makes us look like fools. If we accept the proposal now, what would the rest of the world say? Ah, the Americans have finally thought of a clever plan. Thank God the unimaginative Russians have agreed.
The rest of the world, if they said anything at all, would say, at last, 2 maniacs have had a moment of sanity.
Yes, they would say that too. But first they would say it is an American peace, an American initiative.
Who cares whose peace it is?
You do! You do not want the Russian peace. 2 years ago we announced a proposal to the world that was just as good as yours, and you rejected it.
There were significant problems with that plan.
Yes, it was ours. Let's stop pretending, John. Neither of us can afford to be second in the quest for peace.
What quest for peace? At this rate, there is no quest for peace.
But there is the quest for the appearance of the quest for peace. These are negotiations, John. There are rules. There are forms. You know them as well as I do. Your president knows them. When he announced it to the world, he knew we would have to reject it.
Why did your government delay so long? What was it about the proposal you objected to?
Why go into it?
It's our job. Was it the total number of warheads?
John.
Was it?
No.
The percentage of land-based missiles?
No.
Data exchange, on-site inspections?
Useless.
I want to know. Cruise missile reductions, mobile missile verification.
Not really.
The testing moratorium, the research quest.
No.
BMD restrictions, the ASAT provisions.
Wasn't
the C-cubed issues, SLBMs, MX.
No, not the MX or SLBM or SLCMs or SDI or PS or CEP, SALT or START or any of it. We have no objection to anything in your proposal. Do you understand? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. He liked the whole proposal.
I don't understand. You liked it?
Very much.
Then why did you delay so long?
Because your proposal was too good.
Too good.
It could have led to real arms reduction, serious ones.
Don't you want that?
Of course we do, but we are also afraid of it.
Why? It's a treaty. We've made treaties before.
Look at those treaties, John. They're not treaties. They're blueprints. We determine what weapons we will build in the next few years, and we allow each other to build them. We get rid of small systems so we can put in bigger ones. We trade obsolete technology for state-of-the-art. We take weapons out of Europe so we can put new ones in space. And then we say to the world, see, we are capable of restraint. It's a small step forward. It's laughable.
But it is a step forward. Every treaty is. Each time we come stumbling to some sort of agreement, even if it's self-serving, even if it's flawed, that's progress.
It is not progress. So take a step and slide back 3. Every 10 years we wake up and say, it is time to take the first step. In the meantime, we have spent a decade building bargaining chips, weapons built expressly to be traded away at a later date. And what is the result? We build and get rid of bargaining chips, nothing more, and the real arsenals remain untouched. In fact, they grow.
Right. Each year, each month, each day, someone is proposing a new weapons system. Someone is securing a grant for more research, dreaming up a new technology that will do God knows what destruction to our economies, if nothing else. How, knowing that, can we afford to let any opportunity slip through our fingers? Especially this opportunity, this treaty, these comprehensive reductions, these real reductions.
I know, we have problems with these real reductions.
What are they?
We don't trust you.
You don't trust us.
Do you trust us?
Yes. Well, we try to. But whether we trust each other or not, the proposal has provisions. It has safeguards.
We don't trust the safeguards.
There are checks on the safeguards, verifications.
We don't trust them.
Andre.
Even if there were checks on the checks on the checks, we wouldn't trust them.
Why not?
Because we don't trust you. How do we know what you're making right now that lies outside of this proposal?
We're not making anything.
Multiple warheads, Star Wars, all these were brought in after the treaties were signed, not before.
We can control new technologies together.
Can we? How do you know what they're making in your country right now? Do you think they tell you everything? Let's face it, John, you can't even completely trust your side, and you want to trust ours?
We can
What
work.
if we sign an agreement, and tomorrow, the next day, we suddenly unveil a new weapon? What happens? Immediately, a new arms race.
Even if you're right, you're not. But
I
even
am
if
right.
you were,
I am always right. How do we appear to the rest of the world? As two warmongers who can't keep a treaty. If, however, we never agree to a treaty, when new technology comes along, we will simply be two nations who are trying to make a treaty, but must remain prepared for war. It creates a better illusion.
looking for peace and purposely never finding it.
It is better for everybody. Broken treaties make people too nervous.
So this makes your job and my job what? Some sort of nuclear nightlight providing no real hope, only the
appearance, yes.
This is what you truly think is preferable?
Not I, my leaders, your leaders.
How long do they think this is supposed to go on?
Until the world ends.
Which could be tomorrow. Andre, it's no argument to say we can't negotiate because we don't trust each other. That should be just what spurs us on. The need to create better systems of trust, to combat each new weapon system in turn. For every new weapon system, a new trust system.
I agree.
Do? Well, good.
The only problem is one of pace.
Pace? What do you mean?
We are diplomats.
Negotiators.
Negotiators. We work at a certain pace. We create trust. We build trust. It takes decades, genuine trust. In the meantime, weapons makers create 2 or 3 new waves of nuclear arms. Each new wave pushes us farther back. Who will say, put these weapons on hold? Botvinnik and Honeyman almost trust each other. With each new wave, the warning time gets shorter. From an hour to half an hour, to 20 minutes, 10, 5, 4, and finally no warning at all. No chance to react. Missiles may fly over at any time. Who can stand the responsibility? And in the end, we will not even be consulted when war begins, nor will our leaders be. A computer will declare war on another computer because the computer got nervous.
And you and I will die here in mid-sentence.
Between the words arms and control. It's not that you and I are failing to make progress, John. It's that those who build arms make so much progress.
There has to be a way to formulate an agreement that takes all of this into account.
Are you trying to take your rationality into account? Very good, I applaud you. But I warn you, no nation has ever been rational, not even about conventional weapons. And you expect them to be rational about nuclear ones?
Governments can learn to be rational.
Impossible. They are too irrational, all of them. And all of them are getting nuclear weapons. At one time, we only had to be rational in English and Russian. And now we have to be in Hebrew, Afrikaans, Hindi, Chinese, and who knows what else. All these nations look to us to show them the way. And what do we teach? Never go back. Never give up your nuclear threat. I tell you, my friend, it is all irrationality.
It's not all irrationality.
What do you know about it? I have been here all these years. I know what is going on.
You hate this more than I do, don't you?
Of course not. It's not a matter of hate.
Sounded like hate to me.
I gave up hate a long time ago. Now I only study these things.
You study them pretty hard.
I have much experience.
You have much anger, that's what you have.
Anger is useless to a diplomat.
Then why do you feel it?
I do not feel anger.
Sounded like anger.
It is not anger, it is just careful study. Nothing more.
I must be mistaken.
Yes, you must.
Well, I won't accuse you any more of being human.
Thank you. Now we must talk of something besides negotiations.
Are you sure? It's just that if we're both feeling the same frustration,
Two
maybe
men are dying of cancer. What do they talk about? Cancer? No, it's bad taste. They talk of something else.
Andre, we have a function here.
And now you know what it is. It is never pleasant to discover what you were meant for.
Sorry.
Sorry? For what? For baiting me? It's your job. I'm glad to see you finally getting the hang of it.
I think the answer lies in resisting irrationality.
No one can do that. The fear is too great. The temptation is too great.
I did it. I did, before coming here. They sent me on a tour, an overview, really. You know, spend a little time with the military, get a sense of how much we've invested, look over the hardware, hopefully fall in love with it.
And did you?
We were touring ICBM sites in North Dakota, just riding around, staring down into holes all day at these huge, shiny, perfect things, these missiles.
And you fell in love.
On our way back, we stopped for gas. We were in a small town called Rugby, and right there, next to the highway, was a little stone monument. It marked the exact geographical center of North America. The whole damn continent. This was the center.
Is it a significant place?
It's meaningless. It's just endless flat landscape. But we had put all these missiles there, right in the dead, blank heart of the continent, in the center, in an emptiness, in our emptiness. And I liked it. It filled something up. I wanted there to be more missiles.
You were a very honest man.
But I thought about it. I thought about it until I knew I could never afford that feeling ever again in my life.
What about honesty?
Is it honest for an addict to use a drug just because he wants it? Is it honest for us to have missiles because on some level we want missiles? No, we resist. We reason ourselves out of it.
Just like the addict reasons himself out of the drug?
It can be done.
Certainly.
I've done it. You've done it.
Perhaps. But who is listening to us? The sad fact is that you and I were meant for nothing more than playing games in the woods.
We are not meant for playing games in the woods.
We are. Thank goodness we are friends, or it would be intolerable.
It is intolerable. And we are not friends. My God, this isn't a friendship. How can two people who have nothing to do be friends? They can't even be people. You know, I thought when I first came here that I was going to have some influence. That what I said or did was going to affect somebody, someplace. But obviously that's not the case. Obviously I'm not here at all, am I? And if I'm not here, God knows where you are. You've been a non-entity a lot longer than I have. You have the act down pat. I wish at least that you had fought for this proposal.
I fought.
I can imagine.
I fought. Even when I knew they would reject it. Even when it was dangerous. I fought anyway.
Oh, you did you? Why?
Because I like you. Whether I am dead or not. Besides, it was a good proposal. I will miss it.
There's something I'd like you to look over.
What is it?
The proposal. The very same proposal, only with a few cosmetic changes, that's all.
So?
What if I can get the president to offer it again, secretly? The same plan for an agreement, only with a new name and a few insignificant points altered to save face for both countries. Would your side be interested in that?
Who told you to do this?
No one. It's my own idea.
You get in trouble for this.
I don't care. Do you?
You never give up, do you? Is it not an insignificant point?
What? Oh, of course it is.
No, it is not insignificant.
Well, fine, then change it back. The point is...
I don't have a pen.
The point is, we may still be able to salvage some of this agreement. After all, what are we? Facilitators, right? Our whole job is to help two giants come to grips with each other. Now, if we can just... What are you changing now?
You'll see.
If we can just hold these ideas together, we might make some progress here. If I can get this to the president directly before defense and state pull their usual... Are you through?
Almost. Almost. Japanese. Very nice. You want to see?
Okay. Okay. That one's okay.
Only okay? I think it's very nice.
It's okay. It was better before.
No, it was not. Well, what do you think?
I think this would be all right. I think I can get the president to accept this. Will you take it to your side?
Your proposal?
As anyone's proposal, as nobody's proposal.
Here it is, a paper in our hand.
A non-paper. No addresses, no signatures, just something that's there for both sides to examine privately.
You know, I am walking on eggs at home right now.
I realize that.
They think I've been awfully active this year. But I could try.
Thank you. We should be getting back now.
Things have not gone smoothly for this proposal.
We should get this into both
We've
languages.
had a
before-
difficult time of it, haven't we, over this?
Pretty difficult, yes. Come on, we can still...
I'm glad it's been difficult. It allows you to feel something.
What?
The disappointment. I think my leaders will accept it now.
Good. That would be
I
wonderful.
think perhaps your side will reject it.
Our own plan?
Nobody's plan.
Why should we?
You want rationality? You and I only make recommendations. Our leaders must make decisions. Sometimes these decisions are too big to make.
Somebody's got to make them.
Perhaps you're right. Maybe your president will embrace this plan. All things are possible as long as we're alive, eh?
He will embrace it. I'll convince him.
Of course.
You'll see, Andre. I think you'll be very surprised this time. Very surprised indeed. I can convince him.
Hope is a true miracle, is it not?
So is trust.
It's time to go back. It's getting cold.
Really? I hadn't noticed.
Indeed. Come. We must go back together today.
Why?
We don't often do this, and it will confuse them. This will be the last one. The final glorious touch. It needed a little blue, don't you think?
I suppose.
This blue flower, what do you call it?
It's called a flower.
No, what would the botanist call it?
A flower.
No, if you had to designate it for another scientist.
A flower.
The woods are full of them. So beautiful this time of year, don't you think?
Aren't you even the least bit angry?
I remember the first time my leader said no to an agreement I had worked out. It was with Mr. McIntyre's predecessor,
Mr. Sand.
Mr. Sand, yes. He and I worked a long time on that one. We both had such large dreams. We were new, and we were so eager, so overjoyed at the creativity of our solution. We marched out of this very woods and announced to the world a major arms reduction, a path to sanity. 4 weeks later, our governments very much said we had overstepped our authority. Told us very politely to go back to the table and work some more, and to stay out of the woods. This proposal didn't do so badly. After all, it was 6 weeks before your president's...
He looked me straight in the eye and said, "Don't try so hard. Don't try so hard."
It is only a euphemism.
For what?
Don't try at all. You must learn to control yourself. The Swiss have very strict laws on littering.
Yes, I know.
They're terribly compulsive about it. Things can be very risky if you throw things on the ground.
I know. I was almost arrested for it this morning.
Really? Tell me about it.
I don't want to talk about it. It's a pointless story.
Tell me, an arrest in Switzerland. How wonderful.
It was nothing. I threw a gum wrapper on the sidewalk. Really, there are more important things to talk about.
Not today. Please, let us take advantage of this exquisite time when everything is broken down. Tell me a pointless story.
Why?
It will be such a relief
For who?
for you.
was nothing. I threw this gum wrapper, and suddenly there was this very old man beside me, grabbing me. I thought it was a lunatic. He was yelling at me in German. Why would he yell at me in German? Do I dress like a German? He wanted me to stop. I speeded up. I didn't know who he was.
He could have been a very old terrorist.
Oh, why am I telling this?
Because it is crucial. Go on.
Anyway, he yelled at me louder, only in French this time. I stopped and stared at him. I didn't say anything, I just stared. But he kept right on yelling, only now he switched to Italian. This went on for a solid minute, like I was his bad child, all in Italian. Finally, I broke in. I said, "I don't speak Italian." And he went back to French.
Oh.
Yes. So I said, "I don't speak French." And he went back to German.
Really?
Yes. So I yelled at him, "I don't speak French, German, or Italian. I'm an American, damn it. What the hell do you want?" And he turned and pointed at the gum wrapper. And then I saw that he was a cop. He was a Swiss policeman.
Oh, dear.
I didn't notice at first. He had his hat in his hand and he was so old that But there he was, in a uniform. He must have been going to his own retirement party.
Swiss police are very officious.
Anyway, he tried to drag me back to this gum wrapper. He literally tried to drag me. I said, "Tell me what you want." And he said, "Aufheben," the paper. "Aufheben."
Pick it up.
Exactly.
And did you?
No, I didn't pick it up.
Really? Why not?
Would you?
Of course.
You'd let a little old man drag you back, a little old Swiss joke of a policeman, with people watching?
Especially with people watching.
Well, I didn't. I pulled my arm away. I wanted to say, "Look, I spend all day, every day, working to prevent the total destruction of every living thing on this planet. The whole planet, even Switzerland. I'm trying to preserve the last few precious days of life you may have coming to you. But I can't do it if I'm not allowed to throw gum wrappers on the sidewalk. You understand? It's too much pressure. I can't worry about everything."
But you didn't say that.
No, I didn't. I said, "I'm a very important person."
And what did he say to you?
Aufheben.
And you said,
No. Then he tried to arrest me. He flashed his pitiful Swiss badge and put his hat on. By this time, old people were stopping, staring at me and shaking their heads, as though the wrapper were a dead infant or something. A couple of teenagers were standing there laughing.
wonderful, an international incident.
Anyway, he tried to grab me again, and I don't know why I did this, but I pushed him. I actually pushed him.
No.
I don't know why I did it.
Did you hurt him?
No, he didn't even fall over. But the others, the people around us, they gasped. They literally gasped. The old cop stared at me like I was insane.
You were.
So I quick pulled out my identification and held it up and said diplomat and pointed to myself. And the cop just shrank away from me. I took a step toward him and said, diplomat again. But he just kept backing away. And all of the people watching backed away. I said, it's all right, I'm a diplomat, it's all right. But finally the cop just turned and walked away from me as fast as he could. And everybody else did the same. Except the two teenagers. They just stared at me. Oh, not like they expected me to do anything. It was because I was the only one left to look at. I've never behaved that way in public before.
You were having a bad day.
I was not having a bad day. I am turning into something here. Some kind of monster. Some kind of livery, old man pushing diplomatic monster. Some special, newly created kind of a thing. What are we doing here?
We are talking.
No, I mean, what on earth are we doing here?
The questions you ask are too large. Let me ask you a smaller one. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color.
Yes, what is it?
Why do you want to know that?
I have my reasons. Is it red, green, yellow?
I don't want to talk about this.
Simple question. I'm sure we can handle it.
Don't mock me.
You're offended.
Yes, I'm offended. I'm disgusted. What are we doing here?
My favorite color is blue.
Stop talking about colors.
I have to talk about colors.
Why?
I want to buy you a gift.
We give each other gifts all the time. That's what international negotiating teams do. Sit down, stare at each other for a few months, exchange gifts, and leave. Why does your delegation want to give us gifts?
No. Not my delegation. Not me. I want to give you something. A tie perhaps in the color you like. Something you'll be happy to have.
Why?
I need a reason?
Yes.
Very well, as a compensation prize, because we will never achieve a treaty.
Oh, we will achieve a treaty. Someday we will.
Very well, a victory prize. I wanted to give you a gift. What does it matter why?
It could be the difference between honoring me and humiliating me.
What about blue? Is that your favorite?
No, it isn't.
Brown?
Nobody's favorite color is brown.
Why do you make me guess? Tell me.
My favorite color is orange.
Orange?
Yes, orange.
You want me to buy you an orange tie?
Don't buy me a tie. I don't want a tie.
All right, I won't.
Good. I can see why McIntyre left.
You think he left because of me?
Who wouldn't? Nobody can deal with you. You take serious things lightly, like things seriously. You waste months of time. And what's worse, you never even try to be optimistic. Can't you see how killing that is?
No.
How can you be so negative?
You're the one who doesn't want a tie.
I think you were made for this place. You were born to sit and stare at the world and say no.
Why? Because I'm Russian?
No, not because you're Russian.
That's it, isn't it? You think all Russians are alike. You think we sit at the dinner table and teach our children to say no. You want your food? No. You want something to drink? No.
Andre.
You think we like to say no? You think we like to sit on our behinds all day and not feel any pain? Yes?
I'm going back now.
No.
Why?
I have something to tell you.
What?
Yes.
No!
So negative. Very well, I'll tell you. I'm leaving.
What?
I'm leaving. Bye-bye.
You mean you're going back home for a week or two?
No, I'm leaving.
The government's pulling out the delegation?
Listen to your language, John. No, they're staying. Andrei Lvovich Botvinnik, I am leaving for good. Goodbye.
Leaving your post?
Yes,
Why? We're in the middle of negotiations.
I will be replaced.
When are you leaving?
A week or two.
A week? How soon will you be replaced?
A month or two.
Andre!
Are you worried about delay? That is your job delay. I've been here all these years and it has been one long delay. Tell me, what is your favorite color besides orange? I want to get you something.
Farewell, dear.
Yes.
Are they making you retire?
Of course not.
Is it because you fought for this proposal? Did you get in trouble with
The
the...
Americans always think the same thing. Kremlin intrigue, Trips to Siberia. No, no, no. I'm just merely leaving because it's time to go. It's time.
Is it a medical problem?
No.
It's just that you seem more distracted than usual in the sessions.
Me? How about you? Pushing people on the street, old man?
That was a...
You don't have to apologize. I have been here for many years and I have accomplished absolutely nothing. Now it is time for a new man to come and do absolutely nothing. In this way we achieve a continuity of results. I want to say goodbye. It has been very pleasurable, and thank you, and goodbye.
Why are you leaving?
I told you shade.
Why are you leaving?
I have no reason. I'm beginning to lose concentration at the table a little bit. My mind is beginning to wander, slightly.
To wander?
Yes, more and more.
Well, why not take some time off, a week or two? Maybe that would...
It will do nothing. I'm degenerating. It happens to everyone. Each day I sit there and think I'll say something, anything. The worst thing at the worst possible moment. It is an interesting feeling. It's like my brain is drying out instead of my eyes. Work without hope is a very dry thing. It's better, more practical, but it's very dry. Will you miss me?
Don't go.
I have to.
Rest a little. You can come back.
The decay is inevitable.
It's not inevitable. Don't go. My God, we're working on something here.
On what?
On something. My God, Andre, if you leave now, that's all gone.
No, it isn't. The new man will take it.
The new man will not be you.
You're very flattering. Let me ask you something. Since you are so unhappy that I'm leaving, why don't you leave too?
Don't be ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. I go back to Leningrad, you go back to Warsaw. We'll both be better off.
In what way?
In every way. Listen to me. You're a good negotiator. You're young, smart, charming. You can say no almost as well as me. You will be here a long time. And after a while, you will be like I am now.
You're fine now.
I don't even remember why I am here. Leave when I do or you will break down.
I won't.
This morning you were almost arrested.
That was a freak accident.
You will have more of them.
So what if I do? What does it matter as long as I'm here, working?
Working for what? For progress? There's no progress. It's only an illusion. After we have negotiated every treaty, there has been an unprecedented arms build-up. 25 years ago, we negotiated our first treaty. We had a few hundred warheads each, a few hundred. Today, 13 peace treaties later, how many warheads do we have? 50,000. And if our leaders ever want real cuts, it will be only to gain a political advantage. When the advantage disappears, the cuts will too. There will always be new weapons. Always new weapons building. Listen to me. You are still young. Don't grow old in this way.
Why should you care? You're leaving.
I'm still your friend.
Friends share hope. I swear, Andre, if you go back now, you and I will never have been friends. Do you understand? We will have been colleagues, associates, counterparts, fellow workers on the same problem, representatives, delegates, instruments of policy, but never, never friends.
I'm your friend.
Why? What do I do for you that makes you feel like a friend to me? What? Is it that we do the same thing, have the same job?
Of course not.
Then why? I don't think it's that we tell the same jokes. I don't think I tell any jokes at all, do I? In fact, I think I'm a pretty stiff, serious, even priggish sort of person, wouldn't you say?
At times.
All the time. And yet you like me. Why is that, Andre? Do you want something from me? A bargaining advantage, perhaps?
Of course not.
No, you're damn right, of course not. You don't even remember why you're here. Then what is it? What is the force that impels us towards each other? What is it we recognize in each other that makes us want to be friends? What is our special handicap as negotiators?
Conscience.
Conscience. Exactly. Do you think the next two men in here will have a conscience?
I can't stay. The process for replacing me has already begun. What will you do?
Stay. Work with your replacement. Hope for trust, for good faith, for enough time. Hope itself isn't a limitless desert we're all trying to cross.
And if it is,
I'll die of hope.
I will always like you. You will always be my favorite.
So what?
Perhaps it is time to go.
Perhaps.
So, we are going. But I'm serious about getting you a tie. What do you say to a red tie?
I don't want a tie.
No, red is too political. Yellow? No, that's the sign of a coward. No. And you are much too brave for your own good.
Andre.
How about blue? No, that is my favorite. It would be like I was forced.
No tie! Do you hear me? No damn tie! If you ever try to give me a tie, I'll stuff it down your goddamn fucking communist throat! I'm sorry.
That is all right.
I'm sorry about communists.
No problem.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm probably crazy already.
Probably.
But I'm staying. I have hope.
You are entitled. Tell me, how are you feeling?
I'm fine.
Now, sit down for a little while. This is very nice. Sitting here in nature. Now I can see why you like this.
When I was young, I used to think you ate a lot of wild things. You know, if you went into the woods and gathered things, blueberries, mushrooms, asparagus, I used to think eating those things would somehow make you wild. Not wild behaving, just more a part of that world. You'd go to the woods and you'd feel completely comfortable there. You'd be at home.
by one, they will be chopped down, I think, and made into negotiating table. The talks will go on for hundreds of years, if we are lucky. Our time together, John, has been one great failure, but a very successful one. Shall we go back?
Let's stay a while.
Really? Mean it? What do you want to talk about?
Nothing.